Don't forget, ko-fi.com/stopwritingalone is a real simple way to show your support for what's going on here week after week. Hi everyone, this is Nicole Rivera and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast for writers who are looking for their writing community. I know you want to find readers for your work, but I think your first step is to connect with other writers. That's what we're going to do here in the Stop Writing Alone podcast. We'll do writing prompts and other writing group activities, discover online writing communities, learn how to find local writing groups, or how to make your own. Join us as we explore, learn, and write. Hi, this is Nicole Rivera, and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast. Welcome to episode number 113, Hosting Your Own AMA. This is a topic that is kind of new to me. I've been drafting the Stop Writing Alone book. That is my current project, along with my 52 submissions in 52 weeks. So I'm first draft, early draft, but, part of the discussion in the book is all of the different ways that you can stop writing alone, all of the different types of meetings and groups and things that you can do with fellow writers. And as I was drafting this week, I was starting to think about all of the ways that I have hosted or brought writers together around the idea of building our craft and learning more and just growing our knowledge base or experience. And just as I was writing, as you do, your mind just starts connecting dots and putting things together. And I started to think of the Reddit, subreddit AMA or IMA. So there's actually two subreddits. The big one, the I believe the first one, although I wasn't there at inception, so I'm not really sure which came first, it's IMA. So not the letters, it's like IAMA. In other words, I am a podcaster of Stop Writing Alone, or I am a mother of a 6-year-old boy. That was, I believe, where the whole idea of Ask Me Anything really started. And now there are other subreddits that do it. But the concept is brilliant. It's really simple and brilliant. And if you're not familiar with it, I'll just do a quick synopsis. And it's basically somebody goes into this group and says, I'll do it again. I am a podcaster. I have a podcast on writing. Ask me anything. And then they just leave the post up and wait for questions from people concerning that thing, So here I am. If I went in there and I posted that, then people would be open to ask me questions about, what is it like to start a podcast? What equipment do you use? What topics do you use? How frequently do you podcast? I'm looking for advice on marketing a podcast. Do you have any advice, but it's Ask Me Anything, right? It's why did you start the podcast? Anything. And this is a subreddit that I often recommend to writers because it is a great space to do sort of some kind of casual research, right? What did I just see tonight? I think it was like, I am a dentist it was something to do with dentistry. Ask me any questions about dentistry, orthodonty. I'm probably saying that word wrong. Being, the orthodontics and all of that. And if you are a writer that doesn't have experience in that field or what have you, there's an open door for you to ask the questions, the details about the field, about this person to help you with character development. So I always have that in my back pocket as a resource. It's just there for us because the subreddits also have a section for requests, right? So that if you're writing a story about somebody who explores the Arctic or something, you can say, I request an AMA for someone who's visited and explored the Arctic. And you can leave it there and hope that somebody responds, right? But what I was thinking when I was writing this week is within our group, just of the happy campers, right? There's now 15 of us. It's either 15 or 16. I don't know why I lose count, but I do. And all of us have our own ordinary extraordinariness, right? Because all of us have our own unique experiences that we are either living now or have done in the past that could be helpful to one another. And I started to think, hey, why don't I just throw it out to the group and see like what is if you had to fill in the blank, I am a blank, what could you fill in that blank with in order to show people like this is a little experience I have. This is something different that I did, or a different place that I come from, right? So there's so many different things that you can do with that blank right there. And Jennifer Holdridge, who's in the Happy Campers, and I'll put her Instagram link in the show notes for you so you can follow her. She had this project that she had done years ago that she had learned about from Pinterest, or she showed us a picture from Pinterest, where it was just drawing a big capital I, like a bubble letter, right? And saying, I am, but then filling in the I with all of the different ways that you define yourself. And when she was explaining this project to us, she made, this is really why I wanted to bring it up. She made this really great point, like, be careful you don't go too negative. It's really easy for us to fill in all of the traumas and tragedies that we've had experience with, but it's the other stuff too, right? It's all the, like I said, that ordinary stuff that we don't even think twice about that actually ends up being really fascinating for somebody else. It's a life experience. So yeah, it's a simple enough exercise that you can do for yourself, and it kind of connects to the reverse bucket list and the tallying up of your wins that I've been talking about in previous episodes. But now what I'm thinking is we pull this all together and I make my list of I am a podcaster, I am a writer, I am a YouTuber. I can say that now. I am a mom, I am a former teacher, I am gluten-free, dairy-free, I am a swimmer, I am the daughter to a teacher, daughter to a banker, I'm a granddaughter of a furniture maker. Like I can keep going, right? And some of those things I have like lots of personal experience with and could go on and answer lots of questions about. And some, I could answer some questions about. I'm not like a full expert. I have some experiences. However, if I put all that together, and you put your list together, and our third friend puts their list together, and we have Jennifer's giant I that she filled in all together, and we all come together and say like, well, what do we want to know now? I mean, just as an example, Jennifer's a farmer. I know nothing about that, right? But so I could have loads of questions about what that means, and what a day is like, what the routines are, I don't even know. Just so many different questions. But the point is that now I am starting to get a different perspective on a completely different life than the one that I live. Now, we talk about this as writers, as getting exposed to as much of the world and all of these different things through reading stories, through living our lives, through, just constant exposure. But right now, I mean, I feel like we're almost out of this, but right now with this whole pandemic, we have been so locked into our own little bubbles that we have been starved for that kind of diverse exposure to different types of lives and different ways of seeing the world, just because we have been in our own little bubbles. So I think hosting even a virtual AMA with a group of writers is a great and really like simple way to infuse that exposure back into our world right now. I mean, just think about it. We have these virtual connections through Zoom. Literally, I could say I am a New Yorker, and you could say I am a Nebraskan. I am whatever. And we already like, let's start the conversation. All of the different things about what it means to live where I live versus where you live. And I mean, it could be so much fun. Number one, it could be so validating because these are the things, again, I think when we take our own experiences for granted, we're missing out on so much of the joy that is our day-to-day lives. But then to underscore all of this, that it would really elevate our craft in the simple way of just exposing ourselves to something different. So that is really all I wanted to come to you with today, is planting the seed of an idea of what is an AMA, an Ask Me Anything. Thinking about your own list of filling in the blank of I am a, and what are all of those ordinary things that you actually have this wealth of information about. I mean, the facts are the facts, whether you're a beginning writer or you're out there published. Most writers can't just be writers anymore. So almost every writer you ask is going to have some other expertise that they're sort of like tapping into the world with. And that alone is their zone of genius and something that you can learn from. And you have something like that you can offer to your fellow writers as an experience. I mean, no joking here. The whole like, I am a woman, I am a man, I am transgender, I am, just our gender alone can open up huge discussions. There are hilarious, or sometimes not so hilarious, memes out there of men writing women. I mean, it's really like you have to laugh or you'll cry, because there's some stuff that's so like misguided and uninformed that if somebody just sat with an Ask Me Anything before they wrote, some of these guys that, and a lot of I will say a lot of the stuff that is written and shared is like very, very old. But, a present day writer has no excuse for not at least getting some answers to these questions. But if you are in a position where you are connecting with fellow writers and you want a fun, interesting sort of bonding exercise too, you just get to know each other a little bit more. I think hosting your very own AMA, and you can either do it where you spotlight one person and say, okay, this week we're going to have Nicole's AMA. She's going to answer any questions on launching a podcast, right? And then she'll have, the hour for everybody to ask questions. Or you can have a meeting and say, all right, guys, we're going to have an hour of AMAs. We'll give each person 15 minutes to answer any questions on, and just like rotate. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can run it, but I presented it to the Happy Campers today, and just a discussion that came up from us literally only getting to the point of listing what our, fill in the blanks were. You could see everybody in the Zoom call, like eyes lighting up, like, yes, I have questions. Yes, I want to ask you about that. No, I need to know more about that. Writers are curious people. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing if we didn't have a curiosity about the world, the human experience, all of these things. We just want to live not only our lives, but like these other lives, fictional lives that we are creating on the page. So this is just, I don't know, I think it's like just candy, right? It could be a lot of fun. So different models you can do. Like I said, you could do a 1 hour, one person in the spotlight, just similar. Or you could even do it if you didn't even want to do face-to-face. But you know me, I love all the Zoom and getting my face-to-face contact with people, especially this year. You could run it like like Reddit does, and just put a post up on a Facebook group and say, I'm just going to keep using the same example. Please don't think I'm an egomaniac. I am a podcaster. Ask me anything. And then just let people ask all the questions and host that in that way. So it could be, written form, or it could be a video call, or when we get to it, it could be an in-person meeting. I don't know. I just think this is a really great way to connect with your group. It's a great way to learn from your group. And it is a wonderful way for all of us to build that, all of that skill that we need with character development. Yes, we can do it by studying books and looking at different ways to do the actual writing. But in essence, our characters are based on living beings. Why not get the primary source? Why not get information from a person living that life? I've always recommended the Reddit AMA for exactly this reason. And then it hit me. I don't have to wait around for the experts to come into Reddit. I've got a group of people right here that are all experts in their own thing. And I just want to know. I just want to know more. So that is really it for this week. I know I said that before, and then I got all riled up again, and it kept on going. But that is all. Host your own AMA. Reconsider what is your IMA. Fill in the blank. Yes, and please, if you're not already saying I am a writer, I've already reprimanded you about this in a previous episode, but perhaps this is the first episode you're listening to. If you are listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast, if you are writing, even if it's in a notebook or on scraps of paper and you're just writing and no one else is seeing it, if you are writing, when you write the sentence, I am the first thing you need to fill in the blank is say, I am a writer. And then you can have fun with filling in the blank with all of the other wonderful things that you are, that I am not. That is the one place where we definitely overlap. And then everything else is just juicy, juicy goodness that we can learn from each other. Have a wonderful week. Thank you as always for listening. Please tune in to the NV Rivera YouTube channel for our Friday Night Writes this Friday and every Friday. Next week, actually, will be our writing prompt party, I believe. Yes. So if you are not already on the email list, make sure you get on the email list so you can get the Zoom link to be a part of that. And have a wonderful week. I will talk to you next Thursday. Happy writing. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Stop Writing Alone podcast wherever you're listening to this episode today. Then connect with us on Facebook at Stop Writing Alone Facebook page or in the Stop Writing Alone with Nicole Rivera Facebook group. Check Instagram or Twitter where I'm at NV_Rivera to find links to our email newsletter. Recording, hosting, editing, producing. It's so much work. Disaster has struck. I finished my coffee. Tell me coffee is coming. ko-fi.com/stop writing alone.